What's going on, PokemonGO trainers? Welcome to episode 134 of Lured Up, the podcast where we take Pokemon Go way more seriously than we do ourselves. Lured Up is part of the Pokemon Professor Network, and today is Thursday, June 4th, 2020. I'm your host, Ken Pescator, joined by my co-host, Adam Tuttle. Adam, hello, how are you?
Hey, I'm doing all right.
What's going on?
Playing that game, you know, with the Pokemon creatures.
With the pocket monsters? You're playing the Pocket Monster game?
I'm keeping them in my pocket. Yes. They're on my phone.
I think I'm going to start calling it Pocket Monster Go from now on. I think that's hilarious.
Let's do it. I mean, I'm sure Japan calls it that, right? Pocket Monster
It's the
Go.
funniest thing. You always forget. So this has been a crazy week in the world, especially in the United States. We've had a very crazy week, and a lot of things have come to light. Things that are systemic, things that have been going on for a long time, but the revolution will be televised, as they say, and some pretty crazy stuff. So, got a little bit of a heavier episode today that we will cover some heavy topics, but we're gonna keep that towards the end. It was, the show must go on in regards to Pokemon Go. However, the world has reacted to some stuff, and what we're gonna do is get into it a little bit at the top of the show and speak on how Niantic is dealing with current events. And at the end of the show, we'll have our Poke the Bear, where we'll get into it and some of my personal feelings. But let me recap. So we're going to start the show by honoring George Floyd. We're going to talk about what we can do to make a difference. Niantic has stepped up big time. And we're going to discuss their statement and action plan. They are absolutely leading the charge in the gaming industry of not only making a strong statement, but also an incredible action plan of what they're going to do as a brand, as a company, and as employers to make a difference. And I'm very, very proud to be associated with Niantic after seeing this, and it really, really motivates me to work even harder towards it.
Definitely.
We're going to recap and prep, our usual recap and prep section. Adam will give us the breakdown of the Throwback Challenge Champion Special Research, the breakdown, and the celebration. So we have the champion and the celebration. It's a freaking mouthful.
Which one are you?
I am both. I have purchased the celebration as well, but we'll get there. We have all our information for June dates. We have Zekrom coming to the game. We've got a bunch of other June events, including spotlight hours and things like that, so we'll talk about the schedule. We have an APK mine of 0.177.0, some good stuff in there, thanks to PokeMiners. And then we'll finally poke the bear and get into just some opinion piece style stuff about the world and what we can do, and just use the platform to spread some love and positivity and create a dialogue, because as a podcaster, that's what I want to do, and as a show, that's what we want to do, because creating a dialogue is good, and sometimes it's not easy, but getting into it and opening up that dialogue is the catalyst to change. So it's super important for us to talk about it, but we're going to get there in a moment. So I'm sure everyone that this, the ears that this is touching knows what's going on in the world. So on May 25th, 2020, George Floyd, a 46-year-old black man, died in Minneapolis, Minnesota, after Derek Chauvin, a white officer, pressed his knee onto Floyd's neck for almost 9 minutes while Floyd was handcuffed face down on the ground. 3 other officers further restrained Floyd and prevented onlookers from intervening. During the last 3 minutes, Floyd was motionless and no pulse was detected. An ambulance was called to the scene. Floyd had gone into full cardiac arrest and was pronounced dead at a nearby hospital. It's fucking outrageous.
Yeah.
It was televised. It was all over everywhere. It was heartbreaking to watch a murder.
Yeah.
And that's what the world did. And the world has reacted.
Devastating.
And it's wild. We're going to save the personal feelings to the end of the show. But when things like this happen and the world is outraged, brands have a specific responsibility, in my opinion, to make a statement and step up. Not only to distinguish themselves, their position on the matter, but also show what they're going to do or what they can do to be sensitive to the subject and help. So lots of brands. I mean, everyone, McDonald's, Nike, this, that, they're all making statements, yes, we support Black Lives Matter. It's fucking awesome because any way you look at it, it is a controversial topic. It blows my freaking mind that it's a controversial topic, fighting racism and sharing love and all that, but it is. But you have brands that are making statements, and Niantic has not only made a statement, but has created a in-depth, very, very comprehensive action plan of what they're going to do to set some things in motion to, again, I mean, I say this all the time, and it's fucking campy as hell and cheesy. Prior to any of this happening, prior to any of this coming to life, I think Niantic is making an impact on the world because they're changing the way we play games. They care about nature, they care about health, all that stuff. They're doing good for the world. So after, I'm going to cover what they're doing here, it just further solidifies how they're making an impact on the world and how they're changing the world for the better. So, Niantic employee who I've worked with directly, her name is Dana, TheDHK on Twitter. It's fucking awesome. She's super cool. She puts a tweet out, and I'm going to read it here. It says, quote, "We can't let the murders of countless black people go on. Proud to have an organized team able to make this Black Lives Matter allyship happen. Grateful Niantic Labs answered the call. We sent execs a letter this week demanding action and with a plan. It worked. Need a copy?" End quote. All right. And then she posted the internal memo from Niantic written from the desk of John Hanke. So it says from John to Niantics, Niantics being the kind of group term for Niantic employees. And it's lengthy, 4 pages of detailed information. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to read the first 3 paragraphs verbatim that come directly from John. And then I'll kind of summarize what else goes on in this statement and action plan, because not only is it impressive, but it should be used as an example to other brands, to other humans, to other people.
Yeah, it's very important.
For me, reading this, I was overwhelmingly inspired. So I hope that in reading this, you too will become inspired and potentially take action for change. So this is what it says from John to Niantics. Niantics, we are witnessing an unprecedented movement that opposes the systemic racism that limits the opportunity and oppresses billions of people around the world. Like many of you, I have struggled with finding the right words, emotions, and actions to deal with the unease and unrest we're seeing as a result of the killings of George Floyd, Ahmaud Arbery, Breonna Taylor, Tony McDade, Nina Pop, countless other black people. As I said on Friday, the occasion demands that we rise up and organize and marshal the power and resources that we have to be a part of the solution. As a society, we can do better than we have in the past. As the past few days have made clear, we must do better. The leadership team and I are aligned to do what we can to make the company a force for good in the world. At the same time, we want Niantic to be a source of stability and support in these troubled times. We face the heightened challenge on top of the physical and mental strain of our battle against COVID-19. We know that for many of you, this has made an already stressful situation significantly worse. We want you to know that Niantic is here for you. So please reach out to a colleague, HR manager, the leadership team if you need support. Remember, I'm going to go off the quote here. This is an internal memo, so that's why he's speaking directly to his employees. Back on. If you're in a position where you feel like you can't stay in your place of residence, talk to your HRBP so we can help. The work in front of us to overcome these challenges is vast. The road is long. We want to help you take care of yourself so that you can be a force for good in the world. So what can Niantic do? How can we use our platform to affect sustainable long-term change? We already strive to make the world better by encouraging our players to explore the world around them and connect with their local community through physical interaction, to build a strong body and mind through exercise, and to build positive connections with fellow human beings through real-world social interaction. We think the next area where we can make a powerful, scalable impact is through the culture, ideas, and role models we help to create. To achieve that, we're going to fund projects from Black creators that will bring the best of those creations to the mass audience, where they can shine a light on characters, story, and points of view that validate the lives and experiences of the Black community. End quote. All right. Pretty heartfelt.
That is heartfelt.
He mentions twice being a force for good in the world. I think that wherever you stand on any of these issues, I would be hard-pressed to think that anyone would be against being a force for good in the world. So, with that being said, listen to this shit. And this is pretty fucking amazing what they're doing. And there's a lot, so I'm just going to hit the bullet points here. The first one is big. Niantic will be donating proceeds from the PokemonGO Fest 2020 ticket sales, committing a minimum of $5 million. Half of that $5 million will be donated. I know, it's insane. Half of the proceeds donated will be used to fund new projects from Black gaming and AR creators that can live on the Niantic platform, with the ultimate goal of increasing content that represents a more diverse view on the world. The other half will go to U.S. nonprofit organizations that are helping local communities rebuild. So, right away, we have an absolutely insane commitment from Niantic with money. Money doesn't solve problems, but money can be a catalyst to action. So, boom. They have that. Next, more money. We'll be donating $100,000 to the Marsha P. Johnson Institute and doing an employee match of up to $50,000. Fucking insane. $100,000 out of the gate and an employee match of up to $50,000. Black trans people continue to be killed at higher rates than black cis people and non-black LGBTQ plus people. In honor of the Black Lives Matter movement and of Pride Month, the Diversity and Inclusion Team and the executive leadership team believe this donation is the right thing to do to support those who are most vulnerable to police brutality and other systems of oppression. Okay. So we have an insane monetary commitment. You got to think of this. Niantic's live event team, between the Go Fests and Safari Zones, think of the amount of money they've I want to say lost because they never generated it to begin with this year. But the potential earnings that they lost by not having live events, not having Go Fests around the world, not having Safari Zones around the world, think of all that. Now think of them making an announcement a week ago about Go Fest, and they're probably thinking, fuck, this is finally a time for us to recoup. We're finally going to be able to earn. Then this shit happens, and they say, you know what? That opportunity for us to earn, we're going to give it right back. It's an exceptional gesture of compassion.
Yeah, that means a lot.
It blew my mind. Absolutely blew my fucking mind. Okay, now I'm just going to hit another couple bullet points here. They're developing a new diversity and inclusion training with a specific focus on allyship, upping their commitment to Treehouse, an organization dedicated to diversifying tech by making education more accessible, expanding their partnership with Gameheads, a nonprofit that teaches kids how to develop games from beginning to end. So they're going to be providing scholarships, in other words, which is fucking amazing, and pushing AR with kids, fantastic. They say, we know many Niantics are eager to get involved in rebuilding their community. They're going to be giving their employees 4 days a year to attend Niantic game events. This is a big one. Doesn't seem like a big one to some. But I've heard so many conversations of, do Niantic people even play these fucking games? Do they care? Well, yeah. So now to let that become a little bit more visible to the gamers, they're going to be letting their employees attend these events as part of their employment. It's big. We'll actively work to ensure accountability on all these commitments. And lastly, we'll take a public stance in support of the black community and reject white supremacy, racism, and police brutality. Boom. Big fucking statement. Putting it right there. Taking a stand. We also know that many of our employees are eager to be helpful, but aren't sure where to start. And they talk about their Diversity and Inclusion Council, and they give a couple bullet points. And the first one here is what we could all learn from. Educate yourself on the Black Lives Matter movement. We must educate ourselves and each other in order to support the movement as best we can. And then they go on to talking about some other ways that you can become a mentor or volunteer to help. I think what this all comes down to is education. Because regardless of where you stand on the situation, you have to be educated, be able to make an informed decision whichever way. You're entitled to think whatever the fuck you want, of course. However, I implore you to be educated to make those decisions. And when it comes to stuff like this, when we're talking about peace, love, equality, not being a fucking racist, not being for police brutality, it seems pretty fucking cut and dry to me. But if you still need to be educated, there's fucking countless resources available for you to become educated. All I'm saying is get educated. There's resources out there. Let's do what we can to promote love. Let's do what we can to promote peace. I don't know, man. It's emotional. I'm gonna stop there because we'll revisit it at the end of the show when we can kind of get into personal feelings and stuff. But
okay,
I mean, seeing what Niantic is doing is insanely inspiring. And Nintendo, Pokemon Company, they've all made statements, and that's wonderful. Wonderful. Because even making a stand as a brand like that, it's a risk. Because not everyone thinks this way.
Right.
But when you make a statement, and in addition to the statement, create this action plan that's this comprehensive, it shows that, all right, you're not just jumping on, and I'm not saying this about Nintendo or Pokemon or any other brand in particular, but you're not just jumping on the fucking Black Lives Matter bandwagon and making a social post so you can save face. This is real action. Real proof, real action. Kudos to Niantic. Thank you, Dana, the DHK. Thank you for standing up and sparking change within Niantic. Thank you to John Hanke and Niantic for coming through. Fucking huge.
It's very appreciated.
It's insane. It's an inspiration, and I hope everyone is inspired and supportive. And what's amazing is, after I shared this on Twitter, I had people messaging me going, I don't even need fucking coins right now. I'm buying coins. I don't even need raid passes. I'm buying fucking raid passes.
That's exactly what I was thinking right now. I'm like, even if you don't want to like donate directly, like just support the game that is supporting this.
Yeah, it's pretty wild because it's just a moment of clarity. It's like, people always saying they're fucking Niantic's greedy. They want our fucking money. Pay. It's like, what?
Right?
Yeah, they're fucking greedy. They're committing a minimum of $5 million of their profits to charity. All right, let's move on. John Hanke, thank you so much. Let's move on. Yeah, let's move on.
Yeah,
I'm getting fired up. All right, back to the game. Let's recap and prep. Adam, I know you say you like this section, so the floor is yours.
This section. I do like this section. So we saw the conclusion of the Throwback Challenge with Sinnoh, which wrapped up last Friday. The event was highlighted with Shiny Glameow and Lucario Hat Pikachu, which Ken and we both got our Shiny Glameow. We failed at the Lucario Hat Pikachu.
Yep.
We did have a few days off before the Throwback Challenge and or Celebration, which kicked off yesterday. The Throwback Challenge and Celebration are confirmed to be identical in task, with the only difference being candy in place of encounters and Stardust in place of Willow's glasses, which I still haven't seen, but I want them.
I saw them. You can wear them with other glasses because the game thinks they're a hat because he wears them on his head. It's pretty silly. It's fun.
Oh, that's
Continue.
Cool. All right. So what has taken some trainers by surprise, though, is the tasks that need to be completed. While the regional timed research was able to be completed in a short single-play session, our current research, which has no time limit, may keep trainers busy for a while. Thanks to our friends over at Couple of Gaming, we have the inside scoop on all 5 parts of the special research. Each step gives you rewards, but we will mention the highlights.
Yeah, so like you get like Stardust and XP and encounters and stuff like that. Some of them are like the starters, Oshawott, Snivy, whatever. So we won't talk about that on every step because there's a lot. But if there's anything of note, we'll mention it here.
Yeah, there's only one that I am bitter about. But so part 1 is pretty easy and will earn you a Galarian Meowth, which is super exciting, and a Gothita, which I'm kind of like, it's okay.
No, that's
candy.
good.
It's candy. So make 15 great throws, catch 15 Pokemon, transfer 15 Pokemon.
Easy peasy.
Cut and dry. Yeah, pretty easy. Part 2, however, this part has trainers saying like, what the fuck? You've got evolve 5 Pokemon. Okay. Hatch 15 fucking eggs. Win 15 fucking raids. So I get that, they give us 1 free raid pass. That's going to take you 15 days if for free-to-play players. or if they already had a free raid pass,
Yeah, 14 days.
14 days. So I think with all that being said, this reward is like max potions. I have 400 fucking max potions. I don't need any more. With all the gifts and stuff that you get back and forth, I have lots and I don't need any more. So if that could have been a raid pass or a battle pass, remote raid pass, that would have been better, and it made me feel like it was like I got a little bit of return.
So what you're saying is you don't necessarily, I mean, the tasks are a pain in the ass. You don't mind them per se, but you wish you would have had a little bit of a stronger reward for doing the work.
Yes. Yeah.
That's so
same
fair.
Thing
That's
for
totally
for
fair.
Hatch 15 eggs. Like maybe give me a single-use incubator.
Yeah,
or
make
just
it
a
relevant
regular.
to the task.
Yeah. It would have just felt a little bit better. And I don't think people would have, I mean, people would have still complained, but I think, getting a reward for something that you're using a consumable for, like, I don't know, it would make more sense. But on to part 4. Part 3, sorry. This one makes you work a bit too. So make an excellent throw. Not that bad. Especially with like Reshiram running around, you can get that pretty easily. Battle another trainer 15 times. That one's going to take you a while. But if you are, into PvP and doing your Go Battle League battles, that's only 3 rounds and you're good to go.
Yay, Ultra League. Says nobody.
I literally haven't even touched it. I have not touched it. As soon as I saw that, it was like, oh, it's rotating. I'm like, I'm not playing for a while. So then you've got power up a Pokemon 15 times, which,
no
you
problem.
can just find things with 10 CP and then trash them after. But
Yep.
and that one's a little bit exciting, because it'll force you to play PvP.
Yeah.
Part 4 might be a pain in the arse for some as well, especially those not doing legendary raids, because give your buddy 15 treats, easy. Catch a dragon type Pokemon, not so easy unless you're doing a raid, because Reshiram and Zekrom are your thing. And then take 15 snapshots. That one's a little bit easy too. So, but get out there and actually like try to take snapshots. Don't actually like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
I do that. I do like the Austin Powers, like, work it, baby. Yeah. Snap, 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 snap.
My Delibird's just like upside down. Uh-oh, what's going on? So then part 5 auto completes and has the sweet rewards. So you get a charge and fast TMs, Galarian Stunfisk, Genesect Encounter, 5 rare candy, and Professor Willow's sunshades. Well, his glasses, but I like to call them sunshades.
I saw a picture of someone wearing Willow's glasses, and they had the 3D glasses on, like over their eyes, and then Willow's glasses like up in their hair. It was really funny.
I gotta see that. And also through June 8th, we're gonna see increased Unova Pokemon in the wild, as well as some Galarian Pokemon. We're gonna see Galarian Stunfisk in the wild and in 7K eggs, along with Galarian Meowth, Zigzagoon, Darumaka, all in 7K eggs. So
now,
open those gifts.
Yeah, but this is the
hatch
important
those
thing to
eggs.
remember.
Do you have incubators?
All right,
Did you get incubators?
I do. I have them because I've done the last 2 raid days. So I've bought boxes, which have come, the adventure box, which was for raid pass, 15 raid passes or whatever, but it had 6 incubators each. So I have a bunch of incubators. I'm hatching right now. I'm doing it. But you got to remember, in addition to the Galarian forms, their normal forms are also in eggs. So you could hatch a 7K and get a regular Meowth, or an Alolan Meowth, or a regular fucking Zigzagoon, or a regular Darumaka, which might be a holdout.
Yeah, but that's so exciting, though.
A regular fucking Zigzagoon? Oh my god!
It's like having 9 10K eggs and they all hatching to be Phoebus.
Yeah,
you just don't know what you're gonna get.
So exciting! It's so great. No, I'm
best.
As soon as I get enough to get one of each, get my Zigzagoon, I could evolve up and do all that stuff. I'm done. But I'm currently hatching. I'm going for a walk today. I haven't really walked yet this week. I did a Carfu Reshiram raid day yesterday. So
yes, I did as well.
Yeah, so I got 14 raids in yesterday. So as far as the task is concerned, I'm 14 of 15 right now. I'll do a level 1 or whatever the fuck I need to do today just to finish it out. But I got a bunch of 2Ks also incubating, so I'll get through those, and I'm sure it wouldn't be a problem. But just be aware that the Galarian Pokemon are not exclusive in eggs. Their regular forms or regular regions are in there as well, which could piss you off.
If you can.
Okay. If you're me. Oh, yeah, most people. All right, so we also have some information on June events, and we kind of knew this was coming, but now we have confirmation and dates. So Zekrom is coming to the game. We're in our second week of Reshiram, but Niantic has announced that the second dragon of the Unova trio, the Tau trio as the fans call it, will be coming. Zekrom, the deep black Pokemon, is going to be replacing Reshiram in 5-star raids on Tuesday, June 16th at 1 p.m. Pacific. Just like Reshiram, we're going to see 3 weeks of Zekrom raid hours, June 17th, 24th, and July 1st. So we've got 3 weeks of Zekrom. Zekrom is Dragon Electric, where Reshiram is Dragon Fire. Zekrom's Dragon Electric, which gives us another cool typing to flex and have some fun with diversity of moveset and all that good stuff. We also have some other details coming in June. Adam, you want to kind of give us the exciting news about our research breakthrough and spotlights?
Oh my gosh, this has got the internet ablaze. We have a new research breakthrough, like Ken mentioned. Are you excited about it? It is Trapinch. Yeah. We aren't really too sure who at Niantic they were targeting with this choice, but we're gonna have a month to figure it out.
Dude, I don't know a single person that even had the slightest bit of excitement over this. Like, Ferroseed was one thing. Some people needed it. I don't know. Whatever. Shinx was like, at least it could be shiny. But Trapinch, it's a Community Day Pokemon. And it's been plaguing people in eggs for fucking ever. I don't know. I haven't seen a single person being happy.
It should have gotten a vote to, so we could leave it at the bottom of the vote,
Fuck. I honestly, I haven't seen one person excited about this in any way, shape, or form. So,
well, when somebody gets a shiny, they're going to be like, "Oh my god, I got a shiny! It's the best!" So,
except you got 17 of them from the last fucking Community Day. All right, move on.
Well, these ones potentially could be good IVs. We did have Tuesday, June 2nd off from Spotlight Hour. However, we do have the info on the next 4 weeks. And just as a reminder, all Spotlight Hours are Tuesday from 6 to 7. Adam slaps himself in the face just to make sure that he remembers these. June 9th, we're going to have Patrat with double evolution XP. June 16th, we're going to have Numel with 2 times Catch Stardust.
That's solid.
That is solid, yeah. And then June 23rd, we're going to have Clefairy with double Catch XP. Shiny Clefairy will also be available. That's the hype level right there. And then June 30th, we're going to have Kricketot, which should go with the cricket, sound that just happened. Yeah. Double Catch Candy. I mean, I'm always a fan of bugs, but, I've got a decent Kricketot, so I don't know.
I like all these. I think that they're good choices for Spotlight Hours. I definitely love that Clefairy can be shiny. I just find myself, whenever there's a non-catch based bonus, like transfer candy or evolution XP, whatever it is, I just find myself not doing it because I'm busy catching. So one of them, the Patrat with 2 times evolution XP, I'm not going to be evolving. I'm going to be catching during that time. So that's the only one I see as a little bit of a bummer.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you saved all those Pidgeys from the last one, you could just evolve all those.
Oh, God.
We also have some dates on 2 more June events. However, we don't have any other details. We have the Solstice event, which is going to be Friday, June 19th at 8 a.m. to Wednesday, June 24th at 10 p.m. local time. Could we see Galarian Darmanitan Zen mode?
That would be hot.
Awesome. Yeah,
I think it's good timing. I think that would be relevant. I think they could do something cool with a task where, even if they give a special research or something, that could be in there as a guarantee. I think that would be fun.
Yeah, definitely. Solstice, so obviously a Solrock, Lunatone switching as normal.
Or maybe they make you use a Sunstone or something like that.
Maybe. Oh, yeah, that would be sick. Then we have the Bug Out event. If you're familiar with the one from last year, this one's going to be running from Friday, June 26th at 8 a.m. to Wednesday, July 1st at 10 p.m. local time. What do you think we're going to see? You think we might get, Genesect with different drives in raids?
They got to do something, man. They got to bring these drives in some way, somehow, sometime. Like,
I mean, I think that would be like such a big highlight, because then you've got, just Genesect in raids, and everybody's like, oh man, I need this one, I need that one, I need this one.
So the argument I heard regarding raids and Genesect was like, oh, then it devalues Genesect. But think about Mewtwo. Mewtwo is in raids. It didn't necessarily devalue Mewtwo because everyone loves fucking Mewtwo. So
right, and they just gave it to us in a task.
Yeah, like I think raids for Genesect would be really cool, and you don't know what drive it has until you catch it. I don't know. I think that would be fun. But we'll have to see. We'll have to see. All right, moving on. We have a PokeMiners APK. This is APK mine of 0.177.0. And remember, please, none of the stuff that we're going to talk about here in regards to the APK is official or endorsed by Niantic. It's subject to change at any time. And APK mining is breaking the terms of service. But luckily, reporting on it from a journalistic perspective is not. Okay, so we've got some information here, and they also released official patch notes, which I really like when they do because it clarifies a lot of stuff and you have it directly from the source. So we'll talk about what was found in the code, and then we'll kind of review some of the patch notes. All right, we talked about this a few weeks ago. Raid pass to be consumed when the battle starts. It's not live yet. It's ready to go live. Everything is there, meaning you join a raid, you enter the lobby, where you would get that little symbol, the plus symbol showing that your raid pass was consumed in the screen. If you were to back out, or if the raid does not start, meaning like, oh, this is a good question. I just thought of this. What if you back out and the raid still starts? Do you still get charged the pass? Like, let's say you go to do a remote raid, right? And 3 people join, but you need 5 to do it. And so 2 of the people in there say, oh shit, we don't have enough to do this, and they bounce, they leave. But one person doesn't realize it and starts the raid. Do the other 2 lose their raid pass? The trainer tips.
See, so hear this. During raid hour, my son was with me. He was like, can I do this Clink raid? And I said, go for it. If you don't want to do if you want to use one of the remote passes, like, go for it. So he joins the Clink raid remotely. The game crashes halfway through the battle. He tries to rejoin, but it just kept saying, you're not close enough. But yet he can still see it on the map. He used the remote raid pass.
Yeah, I've seen that bug with remotes. Yep.
And that was just really frustrating because I'm like, and I didn't see what time it was or how much time was left. But there was.
It burned his pass though?
Yep. Yeah.
Ugh,
it was 2 minutes. Yeah. It was 2 minutes left. So I was like, go back in, battle it again. The game crashed again. And then it's like, it's just gone. And like this look of sadness on his face. I was like, oh,
no.
poor man. Oh. So I felt really bad.
Yeah, no. But you know what I'm saying though? Like, what if everyone doesn't back out and the raid does actually start? Like, I don't know. That we're gonna have to, have some test bunnies to test that out, because that's definitely interesting to see how that works. But it is ready to go live. Okay. Energy status in battles. So this is awesome. Amazing quality of life thing. Shout out to AdRock Super X on Reddit, who kind of like created this visual mock-up of this, and then Niantic, while not crediting him, pretty much adopted his exact fucking design. So what's going to happen is, just like you could stack your energy, your charge move energy, and you could ultimately fire 2 charge moves off at once.
Yes.
But
yep.
The way it would look in the past is, you charge up your energy, and that's it. You don't know how much additional energy you have stored beyond your full charge move capacity. So now what's going to happen is, once you hit your full charge move capacity, you'll see a white ring around it, and it'll highlight. But then you're going to see a subsequent energy bar start charging, kind of like a layer on top of that charge button.
Oh, that's sick.
So now you can see your second amount of energy building up on top of your first one, and when you reach capacity for your second charge move, a second white ring will go around the outside of the charge move, designating that you have 2 charge moves of that type ready to fire off. Huge quality of life. I think that's fucking phenomenal.
That's going to be a game changer.
I hope that comes to raids as well. I think that's important for raids, but absolutely in PvP, it's massive, absolutely massive. I love that they're making these little, quality of life fixes to PvP. I hope like the choose 6, pick 3 thing, and like being able to see your swappable Pokemon and their health. Like, I hope this stuff all comes. This was the first step, but really, really cool. Shout to Adrock Super X on Reddit for coming up with this design. We also have sticker icons. So stickers now, we don't know exactly how this is going to work, but we know now the mechanic. You're going to be adding stickers to your GIFs. So I can send you a GIF that has a sticker on it. And we know that GIFs will have different colors, different background colors. You can send GIFs with it, without it. I don't know how this is all going to work, but GIFs are going to be a way, or stickers will be a way to personalize the GIFs that you send. I like that.
That's cool.
Apple sign-in via Apple ID is here. There's something in the code. Now, this is a tinfoil hat moment, and we've been talking about this for a while. Something in the code, one line that says subscription ID. Could this mean that some type of subscription-based option could be coming to the game? Pay $5 a month, you get this. Pay $10 a month, you get this. I would be more than welcome. I would welcome this, so long as it's worth it, of course, and it doesn't make it, you're paying for convenience and not pay to win or pay to play. So Clash Royale, I've been playing this game since it came out, since launch day. I've been playing every single day. I've never missed a day. I've been free to play this entire time. Never bought anything. They have, though, a $5 subscription option, which I've thought about, haven't done. But in my clan, I've been playing in the same clan for 8 years in Clash Royale. Shout to Brett. We've almost, I'd say 90% of the clan pays for this $5 subscription. So, Adam, how would you feel if they say, hey, here's a $5 subscription to PokemonGO, and you can now, the range of your map is greater to see more gyms, or you have access to a raid map like the Ingress Intel map, or you get an extra incubator. I don't know what they could offer, but would you be willing to
anything with like growing my distance? Yes.
Right.
I can't see anything except for one stop. So yes.
Yeah, I mean it's a major tinfoil hat moment, but
and like even if it was like a subscription box, like if it was because you pay
like a loot crate,
something like that where you open it up and you don't know until like you open it, and you open it up and it's like got 2 incubators and 2 raid passes and this and that, and it's like, I mean, I would welcome that.
Yeah, one of the things in the Clash Royale game is you have these treasure chests, and the treasure chests take time to open. 4 hours, 8 hours, whatever it may be, 90 minutes. And you have to manually, start the timer to open them. But if you pay the $5, it auto queues the chest to be opened. So what if it like automatically will queue your eggs for you? I don't know. It's a tinfoil hat moment. Let us know what you guys think. If what would make it worth it for you to spend $5 continuously via a subscription to Pokemon Go? I think it's exciting. All right, PokeStop Scanning, tons of code. So this is pretty much ready to go for PokeStop Scanning. We talked about that at length last episode. AR occlusion, over 2,000 lines of code in regards to occlusion have been added. It's pretty much ready to fly. They just have to start rolling this out. Remember, it's a select Samsung devices, S9, S10, and Pixel 3 and Pixel 4. And then another tinfoil hat thing that's kind of over my head, TensorFlow. TensorFlow is a machine learning library. We don't know what data is going to be collecting, but there's something in here for TensorFlow that will allow the game to learn. So potentially learning behaviors, learning, I don't know. Exciting stuff. We just don't know what the fuck it's all about. All right, now we'll have the official patch notes, and they're detailed, but there's definitely some good stuff in here. Updates. Go Battle League ratings have temporarily been removed from the matchmaking screen for trainers ranked 7 and up to discourage avoiding battles against trainers based on their rating. So what people were doing were tanking, or people were, going into a match and saying, "Oh fuck, they're 200 points over me, I'm out." So they've removed that. They said that this is going to be temporary until they come up with a longer term fix for the issue. The UI for battle screens, the UI for battle screens in gyms and raids and trainer battles is now updated to show the number of stored charge attacks. We said that. Apple sign-in. Trainers will be able to soon do PokeStop scanning. We saw that. The other one, Meltan Box can no longer be activated when an incense is already activated. So that's interesting. Some bug fixes here, and this is mainly related to PvP. And I don't know, I'm going to read this from here, but I can't necessarily connect the dots of what this was, because I really hadn't experienced too much of this stuff besides overtapping, and that's the first thing. Fixed an issue which tapping fast attacks quickly caused a delay in the next charged attack or switch during a battle. That's the overtapping thing. Fixed. Fixed an issue that caused a trainer to soft lock the app if their Pokemon fainted during an opponent's charge attack while experiencing severe latency. That's where if you get knocked out and you're they do the charge move and they're just kind of hung up on that charge move, where it's like, what the fuck is going on? What's going on here?
Yeah, that's happened recently.
That's supposedly fixed. Fixed an issue that caused fast attacks against team leaders and Team Go Rocket to land more quickly than intended. I've never noticed that, so I don't know. Fixed an issue that caused the completed research notification to pop up twice for the same research task. I don't think I've ever seen that one either.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Fixed an issue that caused the team medallion to not be purchasable in the shop. Now, I haven't seen this specifically, but I have seen, even in my community, someone showed me, on iOS, they were unable to make any purchases. Absolutely any purchases. It would just spin and spin and spin, and it was the weirdest thing. So they what they ended up having to do was log into someone's phone on Android, make the purchases, log out, and go back onto their phone. It would seem to be attached to iOS. I don't know if that has anything to do with this team medallion thing, but I did notice that. Let us know if you've experienced that. Fixed an issue that caused the catch ring color to change slightly when any berry was used, even if the berry did not increase the catch rate. That's kind of funky. And fixed some minor layout issues that caused text to overlap with other UI elements in certain languages. I see this a lot too. If my Pokemon has a long nickname, it kind of gets jumbled up and bunched up in the text box, and it covers up their typing or covers up their CP or something like that. So supposedly that's fixed. So cool new APK 0.177.0. I'm excited about the overtapping thing. I'm really excited for occlusion. Samsung, get at us. We need this.
Yeah. No, seriously.
Get on that Team Galaxy.
That they standing next to Zoe and watching her, play the game with that, just the clarity of the screen on the S20 was just mind blowing.
Yeah. It's it's giving me second thoughts about my iOS loyalty. But all right, let's take a quick break. When we come back, we got a little bit of miscellaneous news. We have a listener email, and then we'll poke the bear and talk about the situation going on in the world a little bit further. You ready to take a break?
Let's do it.
All right, we'll be back right after this.
Almost perfect.
Hey man, it'll be perfect in the edit. Don't break the magic, Adam. Don't break the magic. All right, little housekeeping to get through before we get into the ass of the show. And I've rearranged everyone's names in Patreon on this Patreon list, so it might be a little awkward for me to get through it. So we've made some changes to our Patreon. We've combined some tiers. We've added new tiers. We would appreciate it if you would just take a look at our Patreon, because we're offering some new perks, including last night we did our first ever patron exclusive Zoom call, which was so fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, shout to AdRock and Unbreakable and Jamal and Justin and Terry Wolf and John. Like, there was a bunch of people jumped on. It was really, really fun. And we were able to, we were sharing screens. We were talking Wayfair. It was really fucking cool. Thank you to everyone that jumped on. But that's a patron exclusive thing that we do every Wednesday now. But we have $1, $5, $10, $25, $50, and $100 tiers on Patreon. Please, we appreciate your consideration. But you can check that out at patreon.com/PokemonProfessor. You can support the show for as little as $1 a month. And that $1 will get you access to our patron exclusive Discord, which is a fantastic place filled with fantastic people. That's where we talk about all this stuff. And I want to give a huge shout out to our show supporter tier patrons. Here we go. Ace Trainers, Alex, Andrew, Brian, Brittany, Chad, Dem Gearsby Bangin', G-Stacks87, Go Ranger Matt, Griggled788, Harry, James, Jason, Jay Mackle, Jolt Switch, Lynchbot, Matt, Matthew, Monica, M. Pitts, Paul, Peter, PJ, PokeNabot, Purple Pancake, Sam, Smeatwad, The Noise, The Lousy Jedi, Woodwoos Wolf, Shiny Carol, Garrett, John Miles, Professor Pokeballer, Saint Shuckle, and SKT. Thank you guys so incredibly much for your support. We greatly appreciate it. Huge shout out to our executive producer, Paul Bott. But if Patreon isn't your thing, there's a couple other ways you could help us out. If you're listening on YouTube, you can subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and if you're listening via a podcast service like Apple Podcasts, you can take a moment to leave us a review. Okay, a little bit of miscellaneous news here before we poke the bear. We started releasing 2 shows a week. We're now coming out 2 times a week. Our normal show proper, our numbered episodes, will still be coming out on Fridays as normal. But we're going to be doing a creator series similar to our roundtables, which are also coming back once a month. But we're going to have a creator series where we're going to interview a different Pokemon Go creator. That'll come out sometime during the week in addition to our Friday show. So last week, or earlier this week, we had Pokemon Master Holly on for our first creator series show. Thanks to Holly for coming on. It's hilarious. She's a fucking good sport. I busted her chops about the ASMR. We were all cracking up. It's really fun to have a little bit longer form to talk about things with these creators and not worry about having to squeeze it in like 25, 35 minutes.
Yeah, all right. Let's see you later. We got to talk about the news now.
I know.
That y'all already know about.
Yeah, now, exactly. Now we have, a dedicated time to talk to the creators. So we had Holly on this week. Next week, we have Coops the Casual. I'm very excited to talk to this fucking guy because he's hilarious and pisses people off for a living, and I think it's funny. And then following week, we have Zoe Two Dots coming back on. And then the following week after that, we have Billy, the Trainer Club, coming back on, who hit 100,000 subscribers on YouTube and 10,000 in his Discord. Fucking amazing. Wow. So got some great creators lined up, and this will be continuing in perpetuity, 2 shows a week featuring your favorite creators. Let us know who you want to hear from, and we'll get them on the show. Okay, listener email. This one from Jonathan Cade is talking about the gem and coin system that we talked about last week. It says, "Hey, Ken and Adam, congrats on 133. Can't wait for the big 266 celebration." That was great. Fucking hilarious. In response to us making a big deal about hitting 133 episodes last week. It says, "The only reason I do gym battles at all is to farm Pokecoins. In our downtown, we have 7 gyms and about 35 Pokestops. That's fucking solid. I play early in the morning and will usually take over 4 of the gyms. I know that between 9 and 10, all of those Pokemon will come back to me, usually resulting in about 50 coins. I won't put in effort for 12 Pokecoins, and if I stop, none of the approximate 5,000 Mystic players in my town will get theirs either. I'm not a free-to-play player, but I do use the gym coins to supplement the money I do spend. The end result of the gym coins being nerfed is that I will likely spend less money, not more. And can someone please explain why, if, for example, a maxed out Heatran hits a level 10 grass starter with Flamethrower, why I have to battle that thing 2 more times? It'd be only 1 shot anywhere else in the game. It's frustrating waste of time. I really enjoy the show and appreciate your take on some of the more difficult issues in the game. Sorry if this email is long. Sincerely, Jonathan." Yeah, dude, believe me. The whole you have to battle the Pokemon 3 times, even if it's a level 1 10 CP Pokemon, yeah. It's just the process, man. It doesn't necessarily make sense, but hey, give him a fighting chance. Give that 10 CP Weedle a fighting chance.
Listen, that's the only way my Delibird will sit in a gym, okay, is with it being able to last 3 different rounds.
That's funny. But otherwise, Jonathan, thank you so much for writing in.
It'd be chicken tenders.
Is Delibird a chicken? Is he a penguin?
It's a bird. I don't know. What do you want to call it?
I don't know. Is it a penguin? Well, he can fly. I don't know.
It can fly.
I
So
know.
it's not a
That's
penguin.
what I'm saying.
'Cause penguins can't fly.
The hell is Delibird? Damn.
But it is a
Hard-hitting
bird.
questions. All right, Adam, why don't you get us started with Poke the Bear? This coming from our Twitter account.
All right. Let's poke the bear. So we put out on Twitter, we said, what are your feelings about creators using their platform to talk about social issues that aren't related to the game? Like Black Lives Matter, politics, racism, sexism, etc. And the responses were amazing. They were positive. They were well constructed.
Yeah, they were very positive. I was expecting this. Typically, when you call people out like this, unless they're overtly blatant about, being a dick, they're not going to open their mouths in this point in time. And I even said, like, I'll take anonymous stuff in DMs and stuff like that. I didn't get anything negative. So, Poke the Bear, all right, it's not that divisive in terms of, what responses we got. However, when you look at the internet at large, clearly people are upset about brands speaking up on these issues. It just seemed that in regards to our community, everyone was overwhelming positive, and for that, we thank you.
As Tosh pointed out, and for that, we thank you. No.
Yes. Oh my God, I haven't talked about Tosh.0 in so long.
I know. I see it every once in a while on Facebook. All right, so getting into it. Lilo5 on Twitter wrote, I think that anyone with a platform should use that to bring awareness to this incredibly important movement. If you're asking if people will disagree with you discussing non-Pokemon Go issues, yes. But my thought is that it's your social responsibility to do everything you can. Awesome. Totally agree. Alyssa Rose, people over Pokemon. This is a community, and while we're bound together by our love for Pokemon, I'd like to think that we all value each other as humans. First, all of these social issues should be talked about.
Preach. Fucking preach.
And then Bobby Pokemon Snaps, he said, my feelings on the topic are simple. Your platform, your choice. Maybe I'm alone in this, but I typically follow creators because I like them, not just the specific content they put out. It may start that way, but it's about them as a person for me. Part 1 of 2. And then he goes on to say, I believe that everyone should be trying to spread positivity, and that will include topics not related to the game they may be playing at the moment. And that is fine because those topics are almost always more important, which is true.
Yep.
I like that. And then Anadactyl, she wrote, speaking up and speaking out against these things should be the standard, not something to cringe at. Nothing gets accomplished by doing and saying nothing.
Okay.
Exactly.
So this tweet particularly, and Anadactyl, I fucking love her. She's very outspoken on Twitter. She has a very I don't give a fuck attitude towards a lot of shit. And if that's her personality, love it or hate it, I love it. So she put this up, and then another fan of the show, who I also love, another female fan, her name is Espresso, kind of started a dialogue here that was very interesting and went on for about 2 hours. It was an incredible conversation, and at some points, heated. Now, at one point, I even jumped in and said, look, I need to de-escalate this because their fucking mud was slinging and all this shit, and I was like, look, you guys, I'm doing my best to de-escalate this here. Like, be cool, be cool. But apparently this went on throughout the entire raid hour to the point where I put fucking notifications on Do Not Disturb during raid hour because Twitter was fucking blowing up because of this dialogue. So Espresso responded to Anadactyl saying, there's a bunch of responses, but the one saying, not here. It's the only version that means anything. And she's saying that ultimately that if a creator is going to speak out on a topic, that they should bring in someone that has firsthand experience. So if we're speaking about Black Lives Matter, we should bring on someone who's black. She goes on to say, as race relations would not be an issue then. Unfortunately, regardless of friendship or well-meaning intentions, any other way has no weight. These cases are very sensitive and not for the faint of heart or the inexperienced. So this created a shitstorm. And look, I'm okay with it creating a shitstorm because it created a dialogue that I think people can learn from. And I was confused. I even asked her to clarify a couple times because it didn't seem like I was understanding. she was pretty much saying what I took away was, so you're telling me as a white guy that if I talk about Black Lives Matter, it doesn't hold any weight because I'm not black. And she pretty much said, yeah. And I didn't agree with that at all. At all. And neither did Anadactyl. To the point where at one point it was like rock'em sock'em fucking robots, just like going back and forth.
You're waiting for the head to pop up.
Dude, it was like tweet after tweet after tweet, just like boom, 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 you know, goodbye, hello, goodbye, goodbye. It's just like non-fucking stop. And I understand both perspectives. Now, I can, again, understanding and agreeing, completely different things. I'm okay with understanding things and not agreeing with them. In this case, I firmly disagree, and this is why. So, saying that the only way that I could use my platform to actually have weight in a conversation is to bring on someone that has firsthand experience, I don't agree with that, because my experience is still firsthand. It's not the same as someone who has firsthand experience in a different capacity. However, I'm still affected by this too. And it still affects my community. So, however any topic affects you, of course, use the platform. I think you should speak out, build awareness, build advocacy, be a change for good. Then, and when the whole girls that PvP thing blew up on the internet, I was very outspoken about that. And Espresso was one of our biggest supporters about that. And I brought it up to her. I said, you didn't seem to have a problem when I was talking about girls at PvP and I got a wiener. You know what I mean? I'm not, and I go, I'm not a girl. You know, and it was like, yeah, well, you're an ally. It's like, well, that's the same thing. Yeah, I'm not fucking black. I am the son of a Cuban immigrant. I did grow up in a minority-rich town. I grew up in Elizabeth, New Jersey. My high school class, the whites were the minority. I'll pull the curtain back here. Growing up, I got my ass kicked on the daily for being white. I was a long-haired metalhead. Yes, at one point I did have hair. I had long hair.
I had long hair at one point too.
I was like the guy wearing like fucking, Sepultura t-shirt with a denim jacket and metal patches on the back, wearing like Converse Chuck Taylors and playing Dungeons and Dragons. And for that, I got my ass kicked a lot because I was that white boy getting my ass kicked. So growing up, I had a ton of resentment for black people because I got my ass kicked all the fucking time. A lot. It was terrible. It was a terrible fucking thing to go through. But as I matured, I realized that the issues here are bigger than just some black dude beating me up. And that the reasons that come behind it aren't just because one dude is making a bad decision. I think it was part of a systemic issue. And when I started being educated about it and maturing about it, I realized that if I wanted to make a difference, the impact that I would have by knocking on that dude's door and trying to have a conversation with him versus knocking on my representative's door or writing a letter or attending a rally or a protest are much greater. And that's kind of how it compounds here. I think that regardless of my situation or my perspective on this, I do have a platform. So I'm going to use that, just like John Hanke said with Niantic, to be the good, to change the world for the better, to do things with the good of the world and those intentions in mind. So Espresso, I don't agree with you. I don't think that the only way the conversation will hold weight is if I bring someone on the show who's black to talk about Black Lives Matter, or bring someone on that's gay to talk about, gay rights, or bring someone on who's a woman to talk about women's rights. I don't think so. I think that I could still talk about this stuff. And look, just like I was saying earlier, when brands talk about this, it's risky because you could lose followers. And there's people that think that the protests, even the peaceful ones, are fucking bullshit and that they shouldn't be happening. And when your fans have those feelings, They can, I mean, people were pissed off at me for talking about exploits in fucking Wayfarer. Bullshit in a game. We're losing followers over. Losing listeners. Of course we're going to lose listeners because I'm standing up for Black Lives Matter. But it's the risk reward here is it grossly outweighs the importance of having listeners. Like this is real world shit. So I appreciate everyone in the Twitter that had this dialogue. And even though everyone was in support of Black Lives Matter that I saw, it was very interesting that within that we had these sub conversations about how we should be in support of those topics. Very, very interesting. It was meta as fuck. So Anadactyl, Lilu, Espresso, thank you for engaging in that conversation. I learned a lot from it. And again, it's okay to agree to disagree. We all want love. We all want peace. So that's what's important. All right, a couple more things I'll cover here. Brian Phelan writes in and says, here it goes. Like Holly was saying on your last interview, people, especially on YouTube, follow creators for specific content and tend to riot, no pun intended, when creators break from the norm. My opinion is that none of us live in a vacuum. The problems of the first world impact us all. Content creators should voice their stances on issues, but labeling the content as such is a plus. Sometimes I like to consume content to escape the issues we all face, so I like to know what I'm getting off the rip. So that makes sense. That's why at the top of the show, I was like, you know what? We're going to talk about Niantic's approach because it relates to the game, it relates to the brand, but I'm going to hold the personal shit for the end, so you guys knew what we're getting into. And then finally, I got one more here. Robert Roby Kenobi on Twitter says, I'm all for this. They have a broader market than most. They can reach out and change just one of them. It's worth it. People should not be quiet just because it may cause their fans to disagree, unfollow, and block. Use your platform for good. Make the world better. The impact they have when they all come together for the greater good of the world and society is amazing.
Well put.
That's exactly what we were just saying. It's like,
look at Niantic.
Yeah, dude.
Like look at your positivity, it's our positivity in general. Like, we're trying to make that change.
There's got to be people out there that look at what Niantic's doing and going, what the fuck? Look at these fucking chumps. Look at these fucking assholes, trying to do some fake bullshit so they look good in PR. It's like, you can't
They've
avoid
been this way before this.
Yeah, right. All they can do is hope to educate people. And if they can't be the ones doing the education, they're going to provide resources to help people educate themselves. So what I'm going to do in the description of the podcast is I'm going to have a list of resources that everyone can use to become a little bit more educated on the Black Lives Matter movement, the issues that we have systemically with politics right now. Put some stuff in the description. Take a look at it. Let us know how you feel. Call me, email, text. You want it to be private, off the record? Fine. I just think that there needs to be dialogue.
Yeah, I mean, I literally had to have over an hour-long conversation with my father. He was under the impression that George Floyd did not die.
What?
And I'm like, have you been living under a rock? Like, what? And I for, lighter terms, I went off on him and made sure he understood everything that's going on and why it's going on. It was really hard for me to, have to have that conversation with my dad, because I'm like, Dad, how can you, like, because he's just watching like one news source, and it's like, it's difficult. Like, I know everybody's having a hard time, but like, for my own father to not like understand what's going on, like that hit home harder than anything.
Yeah.
And I had to basically just, explain everything from point A to point B, and just, it was hard, because you could tell that he was just like, it's like, what, really?
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
I mean, my mom was born in Cuba. She came here when she was 9. And like most Cuban immigrants, for whatever reason, blows my fucking mind, hardcore Trumpers. Hardcore. The man could do no wrong. She watches Fox News like it's going out of style. Fucking kills me. So, yeah, I feel you, man. I've had these conversations and, explaining to my mom the other day that I was going to a protest in town was very difficult. I went to a protest in Long Branch, New Jersey. And Long Branch is an interesting town. It's right on the beach. And it has some areas that are very affluent. And it has some areas that are fucking sketchy-ass ghetto. And the protest started in like the ritziest fucking area. Pier Village, right on the water, where there's fucking fancy fucking chocolate shops and restaurants that have, fucking, $100 plate meals and, all this shit. And we marched straight down Broadway through the fucking ghetto where there's, businesses that have been out of business for fucking 10 years that are just boarded up and broken right down to fucking City Hall. And it was very emotional for me because it was an amazing journey to see everyone together, but then go from this really ritzy area through the fucking ghetto and everyone come together. It was pretty awesome. And then when we were at City Hall, I'm doing my best to be socially distant, so I'm moving around a lot. And, fucking Long Branch is hood. There's some hood-ass shit going on in Long Branch, don't get me wrong. But it was amazing looking around, and I'm a people watcher to begin with. Like, I'll go to the mall and watch people and just fucking make up stories about them all fucking day. It's fun. But I'm listening to people talking at this rally and seeing, like, them all say, like, oh, shit, people are out here. People are coming. And they would name the towns that, like, they would not expect to have come. And they say, I can't believe these people are here. Doesn't seem that they would come to Broadway and fucking Long Branch to do anything, let alone join us in a protest. And that was like, man, this is what unity is all about. This is why it doesn't matter that I'm fucking white. It doesn't matter. Like, it's just important to be part of it. To not only support the people that are directly oppressed, but to be a part of that solution. It's very, very important. And then one more final thing I'll talk about here, Adam, and I know this will affect you too, is making sense of this to our kids. Because it's very challenging when you see on the news is fucking looting and rioting and violence and clashes with police. It's fucking terrifying. Terrifying for kids. So I'll put in a link in the description. Nickelodeon, right? Nickelodeon has always been very liberal. And they always do a good job of promoting kids' rights. And they put up a post, and I'm going to read it here, and I'll put a link to it so you can share it with your kids. Because when I shared this with my son, it triggered a fantastic conversation. It says, Nickelodeon is going off the air for 8 minutes and 46 seconds in support of justice, equality, and human rights. And then they say, Nickelodeon Declaration of Kids' Rights. This is awesome. Such a great way to engage a conversation with your kids. It says, you have the right to be seen, heard, and respected as a citizen of the world. You have the right to a world that is peaceful. You have the right to be treated with equality regardless of the color of your skin. You have the right to be protected from harm, injustice, and hatred. You have the right to an education that prepares you to run the world. You have the right to your opinions and feelings, even if others don't agree with them. Nickelodeon, well said.
Yeah, wow.
Awesome. Awesome. So I'll put a link to that in the description. I think it's a fantastic way to engage our kids about what's going on. And I kind of gave the floor to my son because I wanted to hear from him what his take on it was. And, my son is an internet kid. He's just sees shit on the internet and on Instagram and, he's 11 years old. And I want to make sure that I shield him from the overt violence. I don't want him to see fucking, the shop owner that got shot by police guarding a shop, bleeding, dying on the floor. But I do want to show him the clashes to an extent. It's very, very touchy. It's very difficult because you want to keep them informed without scaring the fucking daylights out of them. So I think this is a good conversation starter. I'll put a link in the description. Let us know. Let us know what your kids think. Let us know what you think. These are crazy times, and it is sometimes hard to talk Pokemon when it comes to all this. But like Brian was saying, Pokemon is an escape for us, and it does allow us to kind of put some of this stuff behind us. But in putting it behind us, we have to remind ourselves that it is still there. And I think it's super important that we don't ignore it and that we're still proactive, even if we do take the time to play and have fun and enjoy ourselves.
Exactly.
So, whew, Adam, we did it.
We did.
We did. That was a heavy one. But hey, these are heavy
Very
times.
heavy.
I
Yes.
appreciate all of you. I appreciate everyone that's listening. I appreciate all the people that have engaged with us on social media. I appreciate everyone
means
that
a lot.
and everyone that's been so positive and supportive. And, even like AJ from Go Stadium messaged me, he goes, "Really? This is Poke the Bear?" And it's like, well, I'm glad it turned out to be positive because I didn't know which way it was going to go. And the fact that I didn't know which way it was going to go before posting it was the reason why it would make a good Poke the Bear. And either way, it's good conversation. So thank you so much for your support. We really appreciate it. Yeah, I think that's about it. You can email us, info@luredup.com. Check out luredup.com for everything that's going on with the show. We have our merch is up on the site. We have a new merch design debuting tomorrow from Podgy Panda. PokemonProfessor.com/merch. Check it out. And our Google Calendar will be updated tomorrow as well with all the June events. Make sure you check that out. You can leave us a text, voicemail, picture, video, 732-835-8639. Adam, if you don't have anything else, I think that's a wrap.
That's a wrap.
All right, folks, keep training trainers. Stay positive, be peaceful, love your life, love your friends, love your family, love everyone. We'll see you next week.
That's a lot of love.